but yeah, got Bruce back on. Was I in prison when you were on last time, or did I just have a terrible memory?
No, you had just gotten out. You just got you've been out for like 2-3 weeks.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, how are you feeling?
Sore.
Have you adapted? Like, you feel back to normal society?
Yeah, more or less. Lights still go
really
out at 9
predictable shit schedule now.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Everything, things are nice. I'm allowed sharp objects. I mean, not dangerous ones or anything, but
no, of course
reasonably sharp objects. And
what's the sharpest thing you can have? A steak knife?
I can have kitchen knives. I can do this.
Wow.
But as my PO said, keep them in the kitchen.
That is hilarious. You got your steak knives for your fine ass sous vide steaks. You got to keep them in the kitchen, sitting there upset.
He's gonna like bust in. I'm gonna be like cutting a steak up in the living room, and he's like, "Aha!
I gotcha."
What are these extra pointy tweezers doing in the bathroom, Kyle? No weapons.
A toothpick. Yeah, that kind of shit. Yeah, that sounds pretty terrible. I can't wait till you're off probation and you can just get on with your life.
I can't wait till my drug tests are over. I took another one today. They come on these like randoms. Like schedule. I never know. I call the number. It lets me know. So today I had to go pee.
What's a bigger pain, calling the number or taking the drug test?
Well, taking the drug test because calling the number requires just me to make a phone call, and it's
you gotta drive like an hour away, don't you?
But
so
like that would bother me. The calling the number, like it's a schedule. It's a thing that needs to be done. If it doesn't get done, the consequences could be huge. Like that's. Yeah,
it is a little stressful. Like sometimes I'll be like, "Did I call? I have forgotten to call," and I'll just be like, "Probably didn't have to take a drug test today. They'll call me tomorrow if I did." That's what would happen if I missed a drug test. If I didn't show up, like I'm 99.9% sure that they, my probation officer would call me and she'd be like, "Hey, you didn't show up for your urine analysis yesterday." I'm like, "Oh shit, I must have like called too early or called too late."
They'd be understanding, given how busy your agenda is. Like, and they, I'm sorry, I was coming off a 14-hour Tarkov binge, and I was feeling a little weird.
How do you call every day, Kyle?
Yeah, not weekends.
That's the kind of thing that's very difficult for me to remember. Like let's say I have a run of like painkiller, not painkillers, amoxicillin or whatever it is I'm taking. Because it's so similar, I'm like, did I take this today? I have a memory of taking it. But that memory is identical from every other time I've taken it. And that's why it's hard for me to remember like that.
Well, your phone does that thing where I just go to recent calls and I'm like, Thursday at 9 a.m. I called. And like, it does work. So like after I think 4 p.m., like I could call right now and find out about tomorrow. Because I could have called 3 hours and found out about tomorrow. I haven't because I put it off to the last minute. I usually do it like when I wake up in the morning and I'm just like, please not today. Please not today. All right, let's go drink some juice, because the worst thing is like you get there and you can't piss, because then they're like, "Oh, really? You can't piss?"
They're suspect of you immediately.
I have been there before, and like the one I go to now, like there's a couple different places I go. Like if it's the holidays, I have to go to like a federal building like an hour away, and it's like sketchy.
It sucks.
You go through metal detectors, and they're kind of rude. They're like, take your coat off. And I'm like, oh, I'll take it off slowly. They're like, you got any weapons on you?
In there. You had dicks in that coat.
like, take your shoes off and your belt. I'm like, I'm wearing flip flops and I didn't bring a belt. And they're like, good. God. It's almost like I've disarmed them. They're like, damn it, I can't make him take his shoes and belt off. That's like 90% of how I get off.
There's some guy out there whose job it is to watch what you do, and he's just like every day he gets home from work, he's like, another wonderful day.
I'll tell you
watching
what.
Piss tests.
So the probation officer, he was in the bathroom with me, like whenever I had to go there, and there is a mirror like right above the toilet. So I just assume he's looking in the mirror and looking at my dick, but whatever. But when I go to the place I like went to today, which is like 15, 20 minutes away from me, he's just like, do your thing. And he's like in the room back behind me filling out the paperwork, and I go in, I fill my cup up. He doesn't wear gloves. He doesn't care. I'm thinking like, I hand this cup of piss to him so carefully because I feel like it'd be so awful if I spilled some piss on him.
Gross.
I don't think he'd flinch. I don't think he'd flinch.
Urine is sterile. I mean, so urine, you can spill urine, you can drink urine, you can basically do whatever you want with urine, and it's totally fine.
Would you let me piss on your hand?
No.
If I was stung by a jellyfish,
No,
yes.
no, just right now. Like if I were there, just like, here, have some. It's sterile. Are your hands a little cold?
Put it this way: there was one time I had to clean up. I want to say let's say a 3-minute piss out of a grown man off of all of my ex-girlfriend's clothes in a closet, and I had to clean it up for about an hour.
You, my friend, are in some kinky stuff, and I'm in.
And
Could you start from the beginning of this story and go slow?
So this is a story that all of my listeners and viewers have heard 100 times. But a friend of mine I invited over for New Year's Eve. He got super drunk. I let him pass out on my couch. Obviously, it's way safer. Didn't lock my door when I went to sleep with my ex-girlfriend in my bedroom. And I woke up to him pissing in my closet because he thought it was the bathroom, which I didn't know people did. So that was something.
People do that.
Yeah, so he did that.
Taylor's like, at least it was number one, because I'm going to tell you, I've got a cousin that I can never look in the eyes again.
So he pissed in my closet, but the worst part was he pissed all over only my ex-girlfriend's clothes and shoes. So I had to clean it all up before she woke up. She didn't wake up, I did. So I spent an hour on New Year's Day cleaning up piss off of and I was able to do it for about 45 minutes before I started gagging.
Just having to tactfully dab off piss of some nice wedges.
It was a nightmare. That's exactly right. It was a nightmare, and it was weird because I was like, oh, it doesn't smell so bad, and basically the more that I inhaled it, the more I couldn't stand it anymore. But it was like ammonia, and that's basically what it smells like, and it was sterile. So I was like, whatever, clean it off, and then wash my hands and went to sleep.
You didn't try and pull the old switcheroo the next morning, like act mad at your girlfriend and she's asking why, and you're like, because you pissed all over your shoes.
You squatted all over your shoes. What were you doing last night? No.
I asked you why, and you said you were marking them so no one else would wear them. Bizarre.
No. I instead woke her up and told her, hey, my friend pissed on your shoes. I'm really sorry. And she was like, what? And so I told her the story, and she was like, no big deal. She was really cool. So I got really lucky.
Question for Kyle. When you have a drug test coming up, do you ever or have you thought about prepping the dick, knowing that it's going to have an audience? You know, a little like, the tree looks taller.
Are you asking if
the bushes are trimmed?
Before I go to piss?
Well, fluff is a great idea. I wasn't thinking in that direction. I was going manscaping, you know, like a little, because your dick looks longer if you trim the pubes, Taylor. You know, if someone's going to check out your dick today, then show your best side.
Well, first of all, there isn't quite the level of inspection that you're implying. And second of all, you know, I keep
Mr. Myers, you've placed yourself on our food scale, and I've deduced you're a bit heavier than you were last time. I'm assuming there's and look at this. Look at the head give back when I
the yaw is all wrong.
It's not coming back right away. Look at now it's rising off of it. It's rising off of the food scale. You know, this is that's a hilarious thing to add. Some guy who's so insecure, he's fluffing himself before he takes a drug test. I would think the normal thought would be like, fuck, I don't want to fail a drug test.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole thing. It's like it's thinking like, did somebody put some fucking dope in my food? Would I have known? Like maybe somebody sprinkled a little crack on me, like in my sleep or something like that.
I would trim the pubes, jack it just a little, and show out for my drug test. They'd be like,
I would pull my pants down the way second graders do.
All the way
and then they just have to look. Yeah, hand on the side, pissing proudly. They have to look at my dented right ass cheek.
No,
take the
hands
cup
on
and
each
put it on the floor.
2 hands just missing the cup totally. Just sir, if
as you walk out, just go. You got a mess to clean up in there.
Cup on the ground, spray the whole area, and hand him the dirtiest cup he's had all day.
What are they gonna do? Honestly, there's nothing they could do. There's nothing they could do if I did that, but I would never do that. They're very cool people at the place I go to piss. They really are. They're not government people. It's like a private thing.
Private pissery.
How often do they make you do this?
I would say every 10 to 14 days. It's very random. It's gone a month before with no pissing, and then there was a week where it was like 3 times in a week. So it's very much random. Like I said, I call a phone number. An automated lady reads out a list of numbers from 0 to 1,000. And if she calls mine, I know tomorrow's my day.
Are they testing you for like full spectrum drugs, or is
yeah.
it just for pot? Because okay,
full spectrum. There's they pour my the place I go. They just mail my piss off to the piss testers. These are just the piss collectors that I deal with locally.
Yeah, middlemen,
middlemen in the piss world. And but when I had to go to the actual probation office, he puts it in this cup, and the cup has it's almost like when you test the pH of your pool.
Oh,
it's got lots of those little readouts on it, and we're just sitting in there, and he's looking at it, and I'm like, I hope purple's good. Purple's good, right? And he's like, yeah.
Nah, that means you've been smoking that purple gorilla fresh out of Colorado. Sir, I told you I got soap in both of my eyes 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
Oh, that would be ridiculous to go in there fucking stoned. There was a lady like one time when I went in there and like I pissed and then I had to go do a bunch of paperwork. It's like right after I got out of prison and I'm doing my paperwork and it's 40 minutes of paperwork and nonsense and him telling me what I can and can't do. And then I hear not shouting, but arguing. And it's a lady who had pissed hot for OxyContin. And she's like, I've got a prescription. And they're like, do you have it with you? She's like, well, no. And they're like, oh. She's like, well, what do you want me to do? Write her up. She doesn't have it. I'm just,
oh, shit. Oh, my gosh.
That's not pot, too. That's a real deal drug.
Yeah.
OxyContin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a prescription for that, but how many people actually get prescriptions for? I mean, like you must have really terrible chronic pain to get that.